why does a team that has Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, they went and draft JSN, Kenneth Walker is healthy, you would assume. Defense looks to be improved on paper. Should be in the mix for a wild card. Why is it only 8.5? Is it the schedule? Well, again, green means it's easy. Red means it's hard. Where are the Seahawks? Right there. 10th easiest schedule in the league. They brought back Bobby Wagner. Devin Bush. There's some names here, right? There's some names you know here. Devin Witherspoon. I still feel like that was a bit of a reach, but I understand it. JSN is the complete opposite. I think that was a steal. Getting him in the 20s. We talked about that live here on draft night. Can't believe he fell that far. And he's been everything in camp so far, allegedly. Everything in camp so far. Catching everything. They're lining him up inside. So you know what that means. 11 personnel. They're going to run 11 personnel to death, as they should. You have 3 wides who can go. You better run 11 personnel. You have to run 11 personnel. Geno faded towards the end of the season. I'm not going to sit here and say teams figured him out. I just think in terms of what they were doing, I think they figured the scheme out. And I think that's why they importantly went out there and got a JSN to add a different dimension. Because when they went 11 personnel last year, who the hell was the third? Who was the third wide last year? Now you're bringing in somebody in JSN who can work the routes on the inside. He's catching everything. They're saying he's strong as hell and has been killing people with the yak. So if JSN could carry that over, you got Lockett, who can be anywhere from a short-range threat to a deep-range threat. You got McCaffrey. No, he's not McCaffrey. You got Metcalf, who can be the big play deep threat, running non-routes deep, jump balls and all that. And now if you can have JSN work in the middle of the field, Geno going to cook. Geno's going to cook again. And then we still have the running game with Kenneth Walker. You're still talking about the running game with Kenneth Walker. So, understanding what happens here. If they can do something with Noah Fant and Will Dissly, cool. But I'm not too concerned about that. The strength of this team will be the passing game. Kenneth Walker, to me, he's a speed guy. He's not necessarily a guy that can get tough yards like that per se. I mean, he can, but he's not a franchise back in my opinion. He's a good back, but he's not a bell cow back like the ones that we're accustomed to. But Metcalf, Lockett, JSN with Geno, amazing. Now, defensively, there's a lot of unknowns here. There's been a lot of turnover. It's a lot of young players. Jamal Adams, I mean, is he ever going to put it together? He's been snake bit by injuries and all that, but is this finally the year where we get to see what we saw glimpses of as a Jet? Getting Bobby Wagner back helps, and Bush is okay. Devin Bush is all right, but, there's not a lot there to make of on that line. I do like Cameron Young. But, this is where the problem is with Seattle. This is probably why they're at 8.5. Why the line for them is at 8.5 is because of this defense. Because you can't look at this offense from a skill set position and tell me that this is why they're 8.5 wins. They're only 8.5 wins because of this defense. Because there's a lot of young, unproven players. So the Seattle Seahawks should be something. I think they should be in the mix for a wild card spot again. But the one thing that could hold them back is just this inexperienced defense in this mosh posh unit. Bringing back Wagner, bringing in Devin Bush. I have no clue what to expect from this Seattle Seahawks defense. So that could be the reason why the line is at 8.5 for them. But the thing for them was draft night. Witherspoon and Smith and Jigba were the big swings. Seattle Seahawks over under 8.5. I'm going to go over. Even though they finished only 9-8 last year, I'm still going to take the over. I think they get to 9 wins again this year. 10th easiest schedule, assuming health. I'll go with over on 8.5 for the Seattle Seahawks.